watching Half Asian Tarot Queen. I am Elisa. It's been a long time since I did a reading. This year kind of got away from me, but it's like, actually it's Christmas when I'm filming this, and it's a good time to sort of like look back and look ahead and reflect and all that. So anyways, I'm back on the train. We're gonna do some series for the end of the year. I haven't gone back and looked, but I'm gonna link the video that I did at the beginning of the year for the year to see how relevant that ended up being. But I'm just gonna do a kind of end of the year reflective sort of look at the year and just kind of prepping for the new year, new path forward videos that are coming. This is just me kind of getting back on the horse because it's been a long time since I even did any readings, and I just got some new decks because there was a sale, and that was kind of what started this whole thing. And so I started with, this is, if you've been watching, you know, this is like my all-time favorite deck. And I just got the pocket version, and it's really convenient. The other one, I love that deck, but the cards are big. It's kind of hard to shuffle, so this is a little bit different of an experience, which I kind of like. And since I already am very familiar with this deck, it's nice, and it was pretty on sale, so that was a thing too. But anyway, so I'm going to, let's see, this one wants to come out. Start with this. Okay, so this is interesting. And at the bottom I got the giveaway. So this is a card about karma. It's a card about like getting what you give. And I'm sure I've said this before in a reading, but like it's like the Beatles song, like, and in the end, the love you get is equal to, you know, the love you give. So anyways, that's a thing. So we got the Wild Woman, we got magic, we got soul retrieval, and we got the Ancient Ones. So to me, this really speaks to like a deeper, like sort of spiritual quest. And it's like, this is a card of someone who is self-actualizing. You know, they come into alignment with their purpose. They're able to sort of step into their power, and they're able to build their life from like the inside out, you know, like so there's like this total freedom and liberation and fulfillment that comes with that, you know. So that's the energy. And we also have magic. So this is, you know, this is a card of alignment. This is a card of serendipity. This is a card of just everything lining up and just experiencing sort of like a magical, just when everything just like flows and there's no resistance and the wind is at your back, and you know, what you're trying to manifest just happens organically without seemingly like any effort, you know. And that's kind of what that card speaks to. And then we have the soul retrieval. And this is a card of like profound healing. It's like, you know, when we experience trauma or loss, you know, it's like sometimes that emotion gets packed away because you don't have the capacity to even look at it or deal with it at the time, you know. And so people talk about like the lower world, you know, these parts of ourselves that we kind of like dissociate from almost, because it's too much to deal with at the time. But the soul retrieval is a card of healing. It's a card of like facing those aspects and healing them and integrating them into our nature, and then sort of transforming them into power. So, you know, all of this speaks to this profound experience of like, almost like someone who's been like, had some like unconscious elements that they were carrying around, were dissociated from, maybe not even understanding why. Like, for example, like you keep having the same bad luck experience over and over again, and you don't get why is this happening to me? I'm a good person, you know. But this really speaks to like bringing us into your conscious awareness, healing it, facing it, and then this huge, profound, like enlightenment, awakening, like karmic shift. And then the ancient one. So this speaks to having your ancestors, like having guidance from your ancestors. They're like sort of like leading you through this whole profound transformative process that's happening here. So that's really interesting, especially because it's like the year that we're coming up on here, it looks like it's going to be like a year of just huge change. And so it's almost like we have to like get down to like our core, like our essence. Like there's like no room for baggage, like with this year that's coming up. Like we have to be able to like show up with like warrior spirit, like just like totally back to the basics and just ready to rumble, you know. And this really speaks to that, like someone who's just kind of taken the time to just really clear all of their baggage, come into alignment with their true self and their full power, and just like ready to rumble, you know. That's kind of what I'm getting from this, you know. But then this also speaks to this like karmic shift. So it's almost like all the things that have been holding this person back, that have like not been in alignment with their purpose, you know, all that stuff. It's like almost like this shakedown, like all that stuff is shaking off, and it's like you're just left with like, this is it. Like, this is who I am. This is what I'm here to do. There's no fluff. There's no like room for anything else. Like, this is just it. And like, I'm ready to rumble, you know. Like that's kind of what I'm getting, which is a really weird message. So anyways, we're gonna keep going with this and see where this goes. I got this new cat deck, which I felt like was pretty full circle, because the first tarot deck I ever got was like Tarot of the Cats. It was a cat deck, which is kind of random because, like, I mean, at the time that I got it, like, I didn't even have a cat. Like, I was allergic to cats. Like, I was like not even feeling the whole cat thing at all. Like, I don't even know why that was the first deck that I ever got, but it was. So anyways, I'm like, this is like an interesting deck, so I got it, and we're doing a few cards from the tarot, from the cat tarot. This is the first time I've actually used this deck. I really love the artwork on it. It's super cool. And okay, so when I do the split, I get the Five of Pentacles and the Page of Cups, which this kind of speaks to me about this whole karmic, you know, it's like there's just been this loss that this person is, but like it's almost like we're like shaking this off, like everything, all the trauma, all the disappointment, everything, we're shaking it off and we're starting over. Page of Cups with a fresh like perspective, without like any bitterness or any distortion, you know. We're just like, it is what it is, and this is just like complete, just like simplicity. And you can see my little cat, Sugi. She just came in the background. Yes, Sugi the samurai cat. She's named after my great-grandma Sugi, who was from a famous line of samurai. And anyways, okay, so we're gonna pick a few cards from this deck and see if we get like a storyline that comes out. Oh my gosh, okay. Wow. This is interesting. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is it. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck, we got the Five of Swords. This is interesting artwork because we have these four swords in the back, which kind of speaks to this moment of reflection. And then we have this one like going right through the heart of this cat. It's almost like this just heartbreaking betrayal, loss has happened, and it's triggered this time to reflect. And that is the underlying energy of this reading. And but that circumstance is kind of foundational to like a profound transformation, like inevitably that's what will evolve from this kind of situation. So oh my gosh, when I picked that up too, underneath it was the Ten of Swords. So it's just like, oh my gosh, something just really profoundly traumatic, you know. And that's kind of, I think, what needs to get shook loose, you know. It's like coming up to be healed. So we got the Knight of Pentacles. We got the Nine of Swords. We got the King of Swords. And we have the Nine of Wands. So this is really interesting because we have this person, they're on this quest, you know. This person they have a purpose, they have a mission that they're trying to, you know, fulfill. This is a person who can make things happen, the manifester. They're on their path, you know, like, and they're just like steady Eddie. They're just like, you know, moving towards it. But at the same time, you know, it seems like, oh, you know, this person, like, there's all these flowers and the horse and it's moving, and this cat is like, you know, being super thoughtful about like how to proceed, you know. But then the next card we get is this Nine of Swords, just this like total trauma. Like this cat is totally wounded on the side, and it's like totally exposed their whole insides, and just like all this trauma, you know, is being exposed, you know. And it's like this person is just like thought they were on their path, you know, and it's like, and then all of a sudden it's like this, like, whoa, like what is all this, you know? And then we have the King of Swords, which is kind of a card of like ultimate truth, you know, like you can't escape whatever this is. Like all this trauma is being released. You can't bury it under the rug anymore. There's like nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. It's just, it is what it is, and you have to face it. Like there's just no way around it, you know. But finally we have the Nine of Wands. So this is kind of like the Wounded Warrior card. So it's like all this trauma was like not for nothing. I mean, this is what builds warriors, you know. Like you have to drill it down to the like most cleanest, like basic no fluff, no nonsense, no BS. Like, this is what it is. And it really kind of helps bring things into focus and like, this is who I am. This is why I'm here. This is what I'm doing. And that's it, you know? And that's like what's happened to this cat. Like, all that has been cut away. And like, now what we have left is this warrior. And look at, like, I mean, this cat looks like totally like innocent. Like, they shaved off all the jaded, bitter, like distortion. Everything's gone. This is totally like clean spirited, like cat. So it's like almost like having to have gone through this whole process to almost like begin again from a fresh perspective. Like almost like that's what this whole year has kind of brought to fore. So we had the Ancient Ones, which is a card of our ancestors presiding over this moment. So I'm going to go to this Secret of the Ancestors Oracle, which is a new deck. And I've also never used this deck, and we'll see if we can get any guidance from the ancestors here. Yeah, this is a really, it's kind of heavy, but it's almost like purging of heaviness reading, because it's like we had to go through this process to begin again. Otherwise, we're just going to keep carrying around the same baggage and the same story. Like, this is like, that story is over. Like, there's no going back. It's over. And we're starting a new story, and there's no avoiding it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Interesting. So at the bottom we get Root of Fire, Risk It All, which is like, to me, this is like getting down to the like most basic, most unadulterated like essence, primal essence, you know. And then we have the Griot, Blissed. So it's like we have to like, almost like we have to like release all this trauma and liberate ourselves from it in order to make room for this. So that's kind of like, this whole process has felt like, oh my gosh, why is this happening? Why do we have to go through all this? Like, this is awful, you know? But then at the same time, it's like, the reason is because that's what's making room for this energy to come in. Because all this trauma, all this, it's like blocking it, you know? So it has to be released. It has to be integrated. It has to be healed, and you have to learn the lesson from it. And then it's like you're starting again from a place of wisdom, from a place of just being like a clear channel for the divine. I'm going to look at the Griot. Its tarot correspondence is the sun. The future is bright. Things are about to get really good. It is safe to be optimistic. There is no other shoe dropping. In fact, put on your cute shoes and dance. People are naturally drawn to your light. So, wow. This is like a really intense reading. Okay, so I'm going to go the Ancient Stones Oracle. So this is the last deck, and we'll end with a card from here. But yeah, like, this year has been, I'm sure most people will agree, it's been a super impactful year. It's just been really traumatic. Like, everywhere you look, everyone you know, it's like a lot. So, I guess what we're learning is that this is all happening for a reason, and we're about to find out what that is. So, okay. This is what I got. The Gateway. Open doors, opportunities, right timing. So yeah, we're passing through a gateway to a new phase, and we couldn't bring all this stuff with us. So we had to leave it, and it has to get left in the past. This is what's gonna make room for this clean, fresh start. You can never bring all this baggage on that journey. So that's why everything must go. So, and then I have scrying. Trust your visions, intuition, plant seeds. So this is like it's a whole new world, you know. Listen and start planting seeds, because the new era is starting. And I think the message is this: you need to trust this above everything else when you're designing the new way forward. So it's a pretty interesting message. I'm excited to see where this goes with the new year, but yeah, it's like I think we're about to leave a bunch of stuff in the past, and things are about to get real interesting. So stay tuned. I'll be back soon with more messages.